Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the 16th episode of the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 bare bones configuration live stream. That's a mouthful, isn't it? So what we do in this live stream, or what I've been doing for the past 15 episodes, is configuring Dynamics 365 finance and operations, not CE, and doing that from the ground up to give you all a step-by-step guide on how to set up the system in bite-sized chunks. So we're trying to keep this to under 30 minutes with preamble and post-amble and all of that stuff that we're doing here. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go out and change gears a little bit. So for the past few episodes, we've been in the general ledger. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up currency codes. So currency codes are going to be special today because they're not going to be the real world currency codes. They're going to be the currencies that are used in the Forgotten Realms, or within Faerun, as Joe Christensen says. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up gold pieces, silver pieces, copper pieces, platinum pieces, and electrum pieces. And also we're going to set up the conversion rates to the Faerun standard dollar, and which is our reporting currency that we use within the system. So all of this is going to be, I think it's going to be fun. And it's going to be super interesting as we move through. So what we're going to do is we'll start here, and what we're doing is we're working through our environment, our Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 lab. If you want one of these, then just call us. We can go and provision one of these for you, and you can go out and you can borrow it for a while. And you can be set up as an apprentice, and you can do a lot of different things here within the environment and play around. And but what we've got is this environment that we've got has already been set up, and there's some setup that's already been done here with the configuration of the Waterdeep Trading Company, and then also some of the currency conventions that are being used as well. But we're going to expand those out, so we didn't completely flesh out the currencies when we did the initial setup around about 14 or so episodes ago. So that's part of what we're going to be doing here in the system. So what we're going to do is we're going to be running through play testing the same material that you could use if you want to follow through with the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 sort of scenarios, and set up your own company within Faerun. You could set up the Waterdeep Trading Company. You could set up whatever you want, Lara's Fine Fabrics, or really anything you want. So the world's your oyster, and you can go out and create your own company. But the thing with the current, as we sort of work through, we'll work through the guide. And this is one thing that I did with this was actually the 8th module within the general ledger, but I should have done this right at the beginning. I should have set up the currencies during the configuration phase, but I only set up the basic currencies along the way. So in the future, the next time we run through this, we'll probably do this right at the beginning so that we have all the currencies configured in the system. So we're going out and we're configuring the currencies, and currencies are interesting in our scenario because what we've got is copper pieces, silver pieces, electrum pieces, gold pieces, and platinum pieces. And if I go out and if I look at the source documentation, and this is one of the reasons why I like Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 sort of as a theme, because we can always go back to the source documentation. We've got a wealth of information that we can pull from. So we've got the different conversion rates, and I don't think these have changed between the different versions. And if you want to find information about Faerun, then you can go to the Forgotten Realms wiki. But if we look at the official rules, then what we see is there's a conversion rate between these currencies. So let's work this way. 1 copper piece is equal to 10 silver pieces. A silver piece is equal to 5 electrum pieces or 10 gold pieces. So that makes an electrum piece worth 2 gold pieces, and then a platinum piece is worth 10 gold pieces. So that means that 1 copper piece is worth 1,000 platinum pieces, 100 gold pieces, 50 electrum pieces, and 10 silver pieces, and all the way through. Our challenge is that we want to be able to configure this so that it doesn't really matter what people order or place orders in or what we purchase in, then it's all going to go back to a standard currency. Now, something else that we'll set up is going to be the Faerun standard dollar. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to have a standard reporting currency that we could use. So this isn't Dungeon and Dragon standard currency, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to have a currency that would translate to today's prices. So we're going to add in a one, two, three. We're going to add a 6th currency, which is the Faerun standard dollar, and that is going to be 12.6 dollars to a gold piece. So also that means that if we're going out and if we're buying something, and if we look up that something, we see that it's 2 gold pieces, then we could do an equivalency and say that that's 13.2. That's 23.2. 25.2 dollars. And if we have something that's in current that we can translate back, so a gallon of milk, then we can translate that back to gold pieces and have all of that sort of managed. With the conversions, with the setup that we've done, all of our reporting is in Faerun standard dollars as well. So that's just a side note. So first thing we want to do is we want to set up our currencies and our currency conversions. So we'll start with just the copper pieces and the silver pieces and work through them. Now, one thing that we've got here is when we set up our currencies in the lab environment, we already have ISO codes that are specified for our currency. Now, an ISO code is a standard code for a currency, and there's ISO codes for US dollars, Great British pounds, Canadian dollars, everything, all the main currencies, but there aren't ISO codes for the Faerûnian currencies. So that's a problem. It's an oversight by Microsoft. I know they should have had that, but it's something that we need to correct. So if you're doing this from a base system, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we can set these up and how we can configure these. But we're going to do this through a little bit of a backdoor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change back to my lab environment, and I'm going to pull up the browser window. And if I've got this right, let me just copy this over. Then we can't get to the ISO codes directly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the table browser. And so what I'm doing is I'm changing this, I'm changing the URL, and I'm telling it that I want to run the menu item, which is the sys table browser, and I want to open up the ISO currency code table. So fingers crossed, this should work. So now what this has done is this has opened up a really the base table. Let me take a coffee. With all of the different currency codes that are in the system with an ISO code. Now, if I look down here at, let's look at this platinum piece, silver piece, gold piece, electrum piece. So what I've done, or what we did in the lab environments, is we set these up. But in order to go out and set up the currencies, you need to have an ISO code in the system. So we went out and we added these. So Faerun gold piece is ISO code 1001. Silver pieces is 1002. The standard dollar, that actually should be 1006. So we'll see how that works out. But what we're doing is we've gone out and set up all of these codes. So these are going to be used when we set up the currencies. So what you'll need to do if you're building this up from scratch and you're not using the pre-configured lab environment with this small currency code configured inside of it, then you're going to need to add these. So all you do is we're inside of the table and you just say, I want to go new, and then we can add a new record there. So I don't need to do that because I've got these set up. We'll look at the Faerun standard dollar later on. But what I've got is I've got these set up in the system. So let's go back now to the system. So this is actually more fun, because what we're doing is we're now personalizing the system and making it a little bit more quirky. So if we did this, then from anyone tracking the XP points wants to go onto the articles I post, and you could actually see how many XP points we get for this. So now what I'm going to do is I want to add the currency codes. Now we have these configured in the system already, but because we needed to do this right at the beginning. But we'll talk about that, and we'll go in and we'll look at the currency codes. So what you'll need to do is we'll want to go out and we'll want to set up the new currency codes, and we'll want to add the Faerun copper pieces, and then also silver, electrum, gold, and platinum pieces along the way. Now to do that, what we want to do is we want to look up the currencies table. So I'm just doing a search. I'm doing a search here through the menu search. So I'm finding the currencies. There's actually two places that we can get to this. But if I go out to the most common area, and if I go to the general ledger and currencies, then there's going to be a currency area. Now we're going to set up some more of this information in just a little bit as we move through. But we're going to go into the currencies. So these are the only currencies that we are transacting on. If you notice, we don't have any of the traditional currencies because I don't want those. I don't want to have the currencies cluttered up with US dollars, Mexican pesos, and all of those things. Now, if we wanted to go out and create a new currency, then we can go out and we can do a search. And what it's looking up is it's looking up all of the ISO currency codes that we configured. So if I look at the Faerun standard dollars, then we can see that it will pull up here within the view. I cannot go out and create a currency if there's no ISO code, which is why I set that up. And then if I delete this, close this, just delete this record, then what we're going to do is we're going to set this up, and automatically the name of this is going to pop through, and then also the symbol that we have. So all of our currencies are the Faerun and then the coin type and then piece over there. So we've got Faerun copper pieces, we've got Faerun electrum pieces, and we've got gold copper pieces. Let's fix that. And we've got Faerun gold pieces, platinum pieces, the Faerun standard dollar, and then also Faerun silver pieces. Now, we can go out and we can tweak this symbol and use different symbols if we want. And I've posted some ideas on that. Now, also what we've got on all of these is we've got rounding rules, and we've got the genders that are associated with it. and then also any exchange rate information. But as far as we're concerned, all we need are the coins to be configured here, and the standard dollar or the standard denomination. Maybe if someone wants to suggest a different word that we could use for D for the Faerun standard dollar, then maybe that would be pretty cool, and we could change that. So what we're going to, let me pull this up. So now that we've gone out and set up the currencies, then what we want to do is we want to move forward, and we want to tell the system how do we convert between these. So this is really the core part of the currency conversion, because we could go out and we could place an order in copper pieces, but it's not going to translate to gold pieces, and it's not going to translate to any to the standard dollar. So it's just going to be an independent dollar. It's like going out and just recording Canadian dollars, but not knowing what the exchange rate is back to US dollars. So what we want to do is we want to set up an exchange rate or an exchange rate type that allows us to convert the currencies within the system. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up one, and it's going to be the Faerun exchange rate. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at the exchange rates or the exchange rate types. So I'm doing a search for this, and we could find this in the general ledger or in the cost accounting. Thinking those are the main areas that we've got that. It's just for the types. And if I wanted to go into the general ledger and the currencies, then we've got the exchange rate types that we've got set up here. So this is we've already got some exchange rates, but I'm going to change this and add some more. I'm going to add the one that we really want to use, which is the Faerun Board of Trade exchange rate. So I'm going to choose Faerun, and I'm going to choose this so I don't have to type this in. And I'm going to say that this is the Faerun exchange rate. And I could say Faerun Board of Trade, exchange rate. So this is now going to be the currency exchange rate that we use within the system, or that's going to be the standard exchange rate for us. I'm going to see if I can. Now, also, if we wanted to get clever, then I'm going to add the accent on the U, which I really need to here. So let's go and save this. So now we've got an exchange rate, and what we're going to do now is we're going to use this, and we're going to create currency conversion rates. This is so we're going to say whenever we work in Faerun, then how do we convert between gold and silver and copper pieces? Now this is going to be relatively simple, because the exchange rates the value doesn't change between the conversions. But if we go back to, let me go over here to the browser, this is what we're going to set up. We're going to be setting up the different conversion rates for all of the currencies in here. There's going to be a lot of repetition in here, but it's going to be worth it. So I'm going to go back, and let's go back to the main page. And although actually before we do that, let's go to the documentation. And here are the exchange rates that we're going to set up. So we don't have to set up most of them, I don't think. But what we're going to do is we're going to set up from platinum pieces to gold pieces, platinum pieces to electrum pieces, platinum pieces to silver pieces, platinum pieces to copper pieces, then gold pieces to electrum, and so forth. And then finally we get silver to copper with all of these exchange rates. And if my math is right, then all of this should match up to to the table that we had. So let's go back to the lab. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull up the exchange rates. So now instead of going to the exchange rate types, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the exchange rates. So I did a search here and just found the exchange rates. Again, if we go over to the general ledger, then we can just pull up the currency exchange rates. And what we're going to do is we're going to define what our exchange rates are. So we've got all of our different exchange rate types. Now, we have an average, a budget, a closing, and a default, and a Faerun exchange rate. This means that we could have different conversions if we want to for all of the different currencies. But what I want to do is I want to set up I want to use the Faerun exchange rate here within the system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new exchange rate, and this is going to be from Faerun platinum pieces to gold pieces. And this is we've got a conversion factor. So if we wanted, if this was, for example, although we're not going to do it, if we're converting from platinum pieces to copper pieces, then we could actually say that that's 1,000 as a conversion factor of 1,000, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go out and add a new exchange rate here. And the date that I'm going to have the exchange rate is going to be the first of the it's going to be the first, the first of the year. I think my math is wrong. So from a platinum piece, from a platinum piece, let me go. So 10 gold pieces equals one platinum piece. I'm just going to see here. So a platinum piece is worth 10 gold pieces. So now I've done that, I'm going to create another one. And this the platinum pieces that I'm going to do here is going to be then to the electrum pieces. And I'm going to add, and this is going to be 50. So there's, let me go back. So one platinum piece equals 50 electrum pieces, or 50 electrum pieces equals one platinum piece. So I'm going to keep on going here. Faerun platinum pieces, Faerun silver pieces. Then I'm going to add a currency conversion here. Now this one's going to be to silver pieces is 100. And then I'm going to do Faerun platinum pieces to Faerun copper pieces. I'm going to add this here. And this is going to be 1,000. So now I've got my conversion from the platinum pieces. Now what I can do is I can say I want to continue this on Faerun gold pieces to Faerun electrum pieces is 2. So 2 electrum pieces equals 1 gold piece. Then Faerun gold piece to Faerun silver piece is going to be 10. So I'm going to set that up. And then from Faerun gold pieces to Faerun copper pieces, there is actually 100 copper pieces in a gold piece. Going to do this again. So this is going to be Faerun electrum pieces to Faerun silver pieces. And this is going to be 5 for that. And Faerun electrum pieces to Faerun copper pieces is going to be 50 copper pieces to that. And then I think I'm getting, so I've done that. I'm going to add one more for Faerun silver piece to Faerun copper piece. and that is going to be 10. So I've set up all of the combinations here of all of the different currencies and the currency conversions. I've noticed I haven't gone from copper pieces to silver pieces because I don't need to do that. And I haven't gone from copper pieces to platinum pieces because we already set that up. But now I've got all of my exchange rates set up here inside of my conversions. So this is the main part, or part of this, that we're setting up. So we've done that. So again, here's our conversion rates. I think I need to check these because I think those aren't quite right. Now, also what we're going to do is we're going to go out and we're going to set up the final part, which is our Faerun standard dollars. So again, the Faerun standard dollars is $12.6 to a gold piece. So that's our estimate that we're using. So we're going to go out and we're going to set that up, and we're going to so we're going to set up the conversions, and I think I've got we've got the copper pieces there. So let's go out and set up just a few more conversions, and we're going to go from Faerun standard dollars to Faerun platinum pieces. And one platinum piece, if I've got my math right, is 126 Faerun dollars. Actually, let me delete that. What we're going to do is we're going to do a Faerun platinum piece to Faerun standard dollars. If I add this, 126. So $126 is equal to a platinum piece, or vice versa. One platinum piece is worth $126. So now we're going to do Faerun gold piece to Faerun standard dollar, and that's 12.6. So one gold piece equals $12.6. And then we can do Faerun electrum pieces to Faerun standard dollars. And this is going to be, the exchange rate is going to be 6.3. So 6.3. So an electrum piece is half the cost of a gold piece. And then I'm going to go the Faerun silver piece to Faerun standard dollars, add this again. And this is going to be 1.26. And then we're going to do the Faerun copper pieces to the Faerun standard dollar. This one's going to be a little bit sketchy because this should be 0.126. Oh, okay, and it allowed me to do that. So a copper piece is a thousandth of a gold piece, which is, or a thousandth of $12.60. So that, if all my math is all right, then what we've done is we've gone out and we've set this up. So now we can convert from all of the currencies to either standard dollars or up to gold pieces. So if we are putting the coin on hand, which is in the gold pieces, into the bank, then everything's going to be converted to gold pieces. If we're putting everything in our main cash account, which is Faerun standard dollars, then everything's going to be converted to that. So a lot of sort of busy work that we're doing here along the way to set this up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're getting I'll probably finish after this and then finish the remainder of this section tomorrow. But the final part that we want to do is we want to go out and set on the ledger what are our exchange rates. So what we need to do is we need to say in our ledger that we are using this exchange rate whenever we do currency conversions. When we set up the ledger, we didn't do that before, and now we've just got to do that tiny little bit of setup. So what I'm going to do is I can go out, I can look up the ledger in the general ledger. I can go over here to the ledger setup and open up the ledger parameters here as well. So this is where we went out and we set up the calendar and the chart of accounts, and we set up the standard currencies that we're using for all of our reporting, which is Faerun standard dollars. I need to go out and I need to change this, and I'm going to set up the exchange rate to be the Faerun currency exchange rate that we just set up. This is all we're going to do here. Let me see if I can. Just see. Okay. So, but while we're here, I'm just going to fix this up, and we're going to choose our unrealized gain and unrealized loss. So this wasn't set up before, but if we're losing money or gaining money based on the currency conversions, and we want to have these accounts set up in the system, we shouldn't be losing money based on the conversions. But this is the main configuration that we're going to do. And actually, I'm looking at the documentation. And the next step that we do as we go through is to set up the ledger accounts for the unrealized gain and losses that we have here within the system. So I sort of jumped ahead. Now, I'm going to stop here and quickly go back, and I'm going to try something. So let's save these changes. So we've got our accounting currencies and our budget currencies here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to test this out. And this should work. And I'm going to go and create a general ledger posting here. And let's see. And I'm going to set this up as being posted in gold pieces. We'll try this. And I'm going to have this posted to the miscellaneous expenses. I'm not sure whether this is going to work, but we'll see. And this is going to be operations and logistics. We're just going to have an expense here for freight charges. And then this is going to be for 10 gold pieces. And let's post this, in this case, to our coin on hand, which is in Faerun gold pieces. So this is also where, for example, I could go out and I could change the currency exchange rate. Now, if I change this to copper pieces, so 10 copper pieces would then have an exchange rate going out to around about 12.5 Faerun cents to the dollar. And if I said this was platinum pieces, let's go back here, then the exchange rate's going to change. But let's make this gold pieces and change that. And let's just validate this and post it. So if everything is correct here, then what we should see is we should see our postings being inside of the voucher. Being done in different amounts. So what you can see here is here's the transaction currency, which is in 10 gold pieces. But all of the postings to the ledger are being done in the national currency, which is Faerun standard dollars. So it's going to say it's $126 because 10 times 12.6 is 126. So we're actually seeing all the currencies being updated here within the system. So this is what we've done is we've set up the currencies, we've set up the currency conversions, and we're seeing these in action as we're going out and doing the postings. When we get to the supply chain or when we start creating invoices, now we can go out and we can create invoices and sales orders and transactions in whatever currency we want. And it's going to do that conversion for us, which is pretty darn cool. So that ends this section. We went a little bit longer than I was hoping. So we're at around about 35 minutes rather than 30 minutes. But this part of the setup is really pretty cool, because what we can do is we can see all the changes that are being done within the system. Also, now in the next episode, we'll probably finish this and talk about some of the standard currency exchange rate conversions that we can do, or exchange rate providers that we can automatically pull these currency exchange rates in, and all of these things. The final thing is that I'll mention that if just to give you an update on the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 sort of project, if we go out if you go to the AD&D365.com/start link, which is the link that I'm using that gives us access to all these documents, what you'll see is we're starting to release out the 5th edition of these guides. So you're going to see more of these guides coming out through here. If you sign up to become an apprentice, you actually get all of these as they come out as well. And then, but if you wanted to go out and see all of these, then let me go back to here. Then all of the guides are still available for you as a bundle, and also we can go out and we can look at the Waterdeep Trading Company modules, the sort of the middle ground for these configurations that we're setting up here. But what I wanted to do is show the new guide that we've got and all the format that we're delivering these out. You can go out and access yourself. So a little bit of pimping the documentation, but it's out there, and I'd love for you to access this. So again, I didn't have the screen showing, so I'll just give you an idea. We're actually getting the guides to start showing up here within the AD&D365.com/start link. So grab that if you want to support this. If you want to support the documentation that we're creating, then go to the Patreon site. I've got that linked in all of the posts that I'm doing on LinkedIn, and also there's a link up in the corner that has that as well. So I'm not too proud to try to get some support for this, so that we can keep the service running and also keep all the environments that we're starting up running as well. So with that said, we'll turn off the session. Hope this was interesting. I thought I was really excited about getting to this point where we're going out and setting up the currencies. And if anyone has any questions, then don't hesitate just to call me or drop us a note, send us messages either through any of the sites, the streams that we're posting this to. So with that said, have a great day, and we'll close out the 16th episode of the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 Bare Bones Configuration Guide live series.